I'm very excited to be hosting this session, the first session of Careers and Wellbeing Week 2023. And for those of you who might not know, Careers and Wellbeing Week is an annual week dedicated to championing your wellbeing as you navigate your early career. This year, as part of Careers and Wellbeing Week, we're here to help you find balance between looking after yourself physically, looking after yourselves mentally, and also looking after your career. And we are kicking off today, day one, with helping you with your mental and physical wellness. Hello to all enthusiasts. Yes, hello. And we are joined by Andrew from PureGym, who is here to talk to you about physical wellness. Before I hand over to Andrew, just a quick bit of housekeeping. In this session, there will be a bit of insight into improving your mental and physical well-being, some top tips, followed by a 15-minute workout led by Andrew, which is really, really exciting. And we're so glad that you're here. But after that, we'll go into a Q&A. So if you do have any questions for Andrew, whether that's about the workout, about physical well-being, then please do drop them in the chat, either as we go, as you think of them, or at the end, and we'll get those answered for you. But that is enough of me speaking. So I'm delighted to hand over to Andrew from PureGym.
Hey, you all right, guys? How you doing? Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, so hopefully everyone's doing well. I'm Andrew. I've been involved in fitness industry basically my whole life. So today I'm going to be talking about mental and physical well-being and how they both kind of work hand in hand, ways you can improve them, and if people have already been in the fitness, sort of in the gyms already, I can tell you ways on how to maintain that and also how to get better in terms of your own physical and mental health. So if Sophie can just click on the next slide, I'll tell you what we've got planned for the whole day. So we're going to just start off with, just to get a basic understanding of what physical and mental well-being is, how we can improve our physical and mental health, and also tips and training on looking after our mental health, our physical health as well. And like what Sophie said, we'll finish off with a 15-minute energizer. That's a simple body workout that I'll do, and a Q&A at the very end. So I'll be more than happy to answer any fitness-related questions that you got, or just general lifestyle questions. More than happy to help with. So yeah, and next slide. So with physical and mental well-being, there is generally no, how I like to tell people, there's no one definition that obviously describes it, because everyone has their own definition of physical and mental well-being. But from my personal point of view, it includes the presence of positive emotions and the absence of negative emotions, satisfaction with life, fulfillment, and positive functioning. So physical well-being is just basically the ability to live day to day in a healthy state without any physical stress in terms of activity-wise. So let me just turn on the light quickly so people can see me properly. 2 seconds. So I'm sat in a meeting room, I have to move to keep the sensors on. And our mental well-being is feeling good about yourself in the world around you and being able to get on with life the way you want to. And you can see in the description here, the picture, you've got mental well-being, social well-being, and physical well-being. Where you want to be just round in the middle here. We've got a bit of both everything. Then yeah, next slide, thank you. How physical activity actually helps. This is the key part of how they actually work hand in hand. And people don't actually realize what happens when you work out to your mental health. So in terms of like training itself, it does reduce stress and anxiety, boosts happy chemicals, improves self-confidence, increases brain functions and memory. So when I say reduces stress and anxiety, when you train, it produces endorphins, and with those endorphins, these are chemicals that your brain naturally produces and helps you manage stress and any pressures that you have in life. And also it's a way of just like de-stressing and just escaping from like all the daily stresses that you get from the normal world that you go experience through day in, day out. And improves self-confidence. Naturally, when you train, it's self-improvement, regardless of weight, age, gender. Exercise just drastically changes your opinion of yourself. And if you look good and you feel good within yourself, that already improves your mental health and how you present yourself to the outside world. And increase of brain functions and memory. When you work out, your overall performance and how you train it gives you an ability to learn new things and produce new brain cells. And with these new brain cells, when you're producing them, it's another way of improving your brain functions and also making you not smarter directly, but more eager to learn and fulfill new objectives and new tasks that you might challenge yourself to through in your day-to-day life. Yeah, next slide. Let's get active. All right, sweet. So in terms of beginners, the reason why people tend to not start with gym or working out, they don't really know where to start, but there are certain things that you can do just to make yourself active without actually stepping foot in the gym or doing anything too much. For example, like your daily activity levels, you can aim to just improve your step count. A normal target that people aim for is 10,000 steps a day. And especially after COVID, I can imagine that has drastically dropped down with people having either hybrid jobs or studying from home and not having to make that journey to the office that often or to college or wherever they're studying. So what you can do is, instead of, for example, if your journey involves taking the train or underground or something, just get off a stop earlier and walk the rest of the journey. Or if you've got escalators at your work or a lift at the train stations or anything that you see in the day-to-day life, just take the stairs, make the journey a little bit longer, a little bit more active. And with nowadays, our gyms, for example, I'll speak for PureGym on behalf of PureGym, most of the gyms do have plans for beginners. So once you join up, we do offer programs that will be free for everyone, live on the app, that you can just get into a routine with. And especially once you know what you're doing, it's more enticing to stay into a routine like that. It's that kind of like 2-week make or break rule. So if you stick to it for 2 weeks, it gets easier and easier the longer you go on. And with people's confusion of how often they should train, it's pretty simple. Just listen to your own body. There's never too much of anything. So if you train and you feel like you can train again the next day, you clearly can. If you feel like you need a break, listen to your body will tell you, just have a day off and just rest. And with your nutrition as well, life is about finding balance. Obviously, I enjoy, for example, pizzas, everything that people enjoy as well. It's just about finding balance and not applying too much pressure onto yourselves, because that will also affect your mental health. If you just feel like you have to eat healthy 24/7 every hour of the day, it can kind of be daunting as well, and the pressure is too much. So have a nutrition-rich diet. So obviously eat your veg, everything, fruit, the fibers that you need naturally. But if you like a glass of wine, everything's good in moderations. And yeah, if you can just next slide.
Sorry, it's not showing. Give me a second. I think that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can just go back to the mental and physical well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Right there. So in terms of improving our mental health on its own, there's a lot of stuff that comes in that get involved that can obviously damage it without even us having a control over it. So in terms of like physically, my main thing was I used to play football when I was younger, and a lot of things that used to affect my mental and social well-being would be injuries, etc. And I had to find a way of managing that in a way where my well-being ain't determined on one thing. So in terms of improving my mental health, I started picking at stuff that I enjoy besides, for example, football. I like reading books. Each day, try to give yourself 15 minutes to do something that you truly enjoy. But that could be going for a walk, walking your dog, sitting around with family, helping others, and anything that will just make you feel good about yourself, that will start producing those chemicals that I was talking about earlier, that will obviously naturally improve your physical well-being. And also, talking to other people is also, everyone goes through tough times in their life, especially after the last 2 years everyone's had, to be fair. I feel like this is the perfect time for everyone to be like kind of working shoulder to shoulder, speaking, opening up. Because I myself as well, I struggled being indoors 24/7 out, like every single hour of the day. So this is the time where we should obviously lean on family, friends, just start talking, just opening up. And in terms of physical well-being, now we're allowed to obviously join the gyms. There's no more restrictions and stuff. Just getting more active in terms of running, walking, everything. So if you're a hybrid worker, I'll probably say just start incorporating, just giving yourself an hour throughout the day if you're working from home, just to go for a walk. Just give yourself a break from sitting at a desk 24/7. And another thing that would also help as well is planning ahead. So on the weekends, if you've got the things that get left behind are the least important things that are not fitted into your diary. Naturally, work comes first. If you've got work, that's always in your diary, so you can never miss that unless you're ill or other separate reasons. That will never come out. So if you start putting in a 15-minute workout here and there, 30-minute workout, or 5-minute walk or something that just gets you a bit more active into your diary, it's a lot harder just to bypass it. You get to make it a lot easier to be committed to it. And once you get started and once you realize and you see the improvements, it's a lot harder to give up. It's a lot harder to stop it. And there's always things that are out there to help. Like for example, this session, a lot of things have gone online as well, like physical training activities have gone online, YouTube's. You can see, sorry, I just saw the question about PureGym here. If you can you read that to me quickly, please, so I can just answer before I forget.
So this person has asked, I've had a PureGym membership for months now, but I don't have the motivation to actually go and start the journey. Starting feels like the hardest step for me, the lack of self-confidence and discipline. How do we gain self-motivation to actually go to the gym? I think that's a really good question. I think, how do you, if you're in a slump and you don't know how to kind of get out of that and actually push yourself to go to the gym or go for a walk or go for a run, like what would be your advice to get out of that?
It's not, the first thing I'll probably say is actually figuring out the reason why you're in the slump. Even if it's hard to get to that reason, that's the main reason. Because some of the things I'll use myself, for example, I was avoiding the direct truth to it. For example, in lockdown, everything was just on top. I just wanted to stay indoors, sleep. But I wasn't really addressing why I wanted just to stay indoors and sleeping. So if you're in a rut where you don't want to just get up and go to the gym and stuff, give yourself time. You don't have to start your journey straight away. Figure out what's actually the main cause of you having no motivation, or if you feel like a gym is an intimidating place. Pure gyms now, they're probably the most friendliest gyms in UK, I would imagine, because there are classes, there's always gym instructors on the gym floor to offer you help or guidance if you need it. And all our classes as well are for any beginner or experienced person. You can just come along and people will be more, even members themselves will be eager to help because of their journey as well. Because everyone has to start their journey at some point and somewhere. Do you mind me asking the lady what Pure Gym she's part of? Or gentleman, whoever asked, because I can't remember their name.
We'll wait for them to drop that in the chat.
Oh, that's very close to our one. If she wants, she could come to Old Date, ask for myself, then yeah, I'll give her an induction and we just have a chat face to face. That's something that would help her.
Great. And we do have another question. Actually, should we just jump through a few questions now and then we can move to the energizer and then go back to any questions if there are any at the end? Does that work, Andrew?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so we've got another one. I'm doing a master's degree and that involves a lot of self-studying. Would going to the gym take too much of my energy that I need to study? I'm also an absolute beginner and worried that getting my nutritions right will be too much work.
Sorry, if you can repeat that quickly.
So they're basically doing a master's. Involves a lot of self-studying. Would going to the gym take too much energy that they need to go to study? Like, would it be too difficult? And the last bit was, something around nutrition. So is it too much to get your nutrition right, or is that quite easy to do?
With the nutrition, it's quite easy to do. If she's studying already, she ain't. Let's be real. My nutrition, I'm not one of those professional athletes, the bodybuilders, etc. Like I was saying earlier, you just have to find the right balance. You don't have to be insanely healthy to eat your fruit and veg every single day and have dried chicken and rice, etc. It's just the food that you know that are good for you, just have more of those. And obviously just cut down on the foods that presume to be bad for you. Just have them in moderations, because naturally nothing is actually bad for you. It's just the moderations they have them with. So for example, like the drinking, if you like a glass of wine, just keep it, for example, on a Friday, just treat yourself to a glass of wine. Everyone likes that. Or throughout the week, commit to drinking 2 liters a day. It's stuff that you can just incorporate into your day-to-day lifestyle with no pressures from it. So no, 100% she could do that. And in terms of her feeling tired to either work out or study, working out, it's actually improves your energy levels. Just because of the stress relief that you get. So when you work out and study, when you're studying, for example, it's a lot of stress and pressure because you're putting pressure on yourself to get good grades. Stress itself does make you tired. When you train, you produce what's it called? A chemical called endorphins. That's just a positive chemical. And when you do train, you're more active. And it works hand in hand as well where you get tired. Just give yourself time, a break, and just get good amount of sleep. If you do train and study at the same time, then you'll be fine.
Great. I think there's another question, but it's PureGym specific. So I might ask you that at the end, Andrew, if that's okay. But if there's any burning questions about physical well-being, nutrition, things like that, speak now. Otherwise, I think we could be good to go into the energizer if you're ready, Andrew.
Perfect. All right, guys. With our energizer, it's only going to be 15 to 20 minutes long. It's just a bodyweight exercise. Just make sure you're wearing something comfortable, either shorts or just a loose top. If you want, you can also turn your camera screen off and just get involved with the energizer. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip my camera screen around into this part here, where the mat is. Then I'm going to get myself involved. So I've got my mat ready. If you ain't got a mat or any space to work out, just make sure when we're doing the exercises, you're not doing it on just on an even floor, because that'll cause injuries. So I'm just gonna get the workout out here. Just gonna go. So it's gonna be 15 minutes. I'm gonna give you 10 movements with 30 seconds intervals. So that basically means you're working for 30 seconds. Then you repeat all the exercises, 3 rounds, and you get a minute break after we do all 10. Yeah? Perfect. Let's get ready. Just move myself here. Just a quick note. Would everyone prefer me to be face on or sideways so they can actually see my whole body and my movement?
I'm just monitoring the chat, see if anyone has a preference.
Can we do gym right after? Oh,
sideways. Someone said sideways.
Yeah, sweet. I just see it now.
So.
Perfect. So for your first 30 seconds, just gonna go through for a little warm up and just get everyone to pump up those high knees for 30 seconds whilst I get the timer up. Then we'll get started. Go for a little warm up. Let's get 30 seconds timer. Perfect. 30 seconds, get your knees up, back straight, driving it through. Sweep with 10 seconds in. For your next movement, you're just going to warm up the core, lower back, get the hamstrings and quads warmed up. We're going to go through your simple little walkouts. I'll show you how you get through them. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So with your walkouts, you want your legs shoulder width apart. Engage your core when you're going down. Knees slightly bent. Walk your way up. Here, holding the high plank. Bring it back up. Nice and strong. Hold that high plank. And come back up. We just got 30 seconds on this one. Then we'll get into your exercises. Nice and strong. 10 more seconds. 2 more. 3. 2. Woo. And 1. All right, perfect. That was just a simple warm-up. Then let's see what your first exercise is. All right, your first exercise is 30 seconds of jump jacks. If those who don't know what jump jacks are, pretty tall for this room, these are jump jacks here. If those are too easy for you, you've got another option. You can start at the bottom here, bring it up, power it up, bring it back down for 30 seconds. Let's get ready in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. 30 seconds, time starts now. So 2 options, from the bottom and up, big jump up, or you can get from halfway here and just power through them. Let's go. Keep control that breathing, deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. Keep working. 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and recover. Have a little 15-second break. Your next one, bodyweight squats. With your squats, you want your legs shoulder width apart again. Hands on your hips in this position here. What we're going to do, you're going to sit back down onto your heels and push up. Work those quads. Let's go. Quick tempo, 30 seconds. Good. Keep that back straight. Chest elevated. When you're doing your squats, what you don't want to do is raise your heels. That'll start putting pressure onto your knees. So what you want to do, you want to imagine you're sitting back onto your heels, keeping that back straight, chest up. Good. Give me 5 more. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Your next movement, press ups. With these ones, let me just drop it down here so you can see me more. Perfect. With your press ups, you can either do them on your knees in this position here, or a full press up, which is up here and push. Up and down. 30 seconds. Arms shoulder width apart. And keep going. That's it. Remember, we've got 2 options, either in here or you've got the full press up on both hands and legs. 3 more. 2. 1 more. And recover. Woo. Perfect. 15 seconds. And we're going to the next round. Let's see what we got. All right, your next set of exercises, you've got are mountain climbers. Nice and easy. What you're going to do, you're going to get into that high plank position. That basically means hands into here. You want your hands in line with your chest. Back, you want to keep it straight, engage your core. When you're doing your mountain climbers, keep your knees nice and central and drive them through. All right, let's get ready in 3, 2, 1, and let's push through. Keep going. Three, keep it up, keep going. 2, 10 seconds, and 1, cover. So just get a drink if you need it, and keep working. Your next exercise, burpees, everyone's favorite. How are you gonna do that? Nice and simple. If you're in a room where you can't jump high like myself, what you're gonna do with your burpees, down, chest to floor, come up, just stand. If you're outside, I'm going to jump to it. With your options with burpees, you can have a chest to floor,
pull in here and stand up. All right, let me get the timer again. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep going, nice. Up, 15 seconds. Give me 3 more. One more. Nice, recover. All right, for your next one, reverse lunge with the right leg. Before we change over, with your lunge, I want you to have hands on your hips in this position here. When you're lunging, lunge at the back, come back into the middle. Keep your back straight, chest up, core engaged. In 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Good, keep it up. 10 seconds, good. Keep it on the same leg the whole way through. Keep going. Keep it up. Three, 2, and 1. Perfect. Shake it off. Your glutes should be burning now. We're going to change over to the right leg. Let's go. Straight in, 30 seconds. Keep going, let's go. Nearly there, halfway through. 5, good. 4, 3 more. 3, 2, 1 more. Perfect. We're going to get back onto the floor. We're going to have a few exercises to work the core. Start off with, I want you seated on the floor. Change the camera angle so you can see me. All right, easy. You're going to be seated onto the floor in this position here. First exercise, you can have your knees, your heels on the floor, sorry, or your heels up. Russian twist. You're just going to twist side to side. Remember, you want to round your lower back, engage that core. What you don't want to do is you don't have your back too straight. You start feeling a strain in your lower back in here. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go. This exercise here is strengthening up our core muscles. Good, keep going. Remember, you're going to have your feet, heels off the floor, or on the floor. Keep going. 3, 2, and 1. Recover. Last 2 exercises you're going to do. We're going to go into some crunches. With this one, have your hands behind your back, turn in, chest up. With your legs, you're going to lean back, crunch in, kick out, crunching. Work your lower part of your core. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, and go. Keep going, come on. Let's go. Nearly there. 5. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right, for the last 2 exercises, you're going to work with a plank. So your first plank is on the floor in here. Nice control. After that, you're going to go into your plank jacks. Last 2 exercises. Let's get ready in 3, 30-second plank, 2, 1. It's 20 seconds left, guys. Keep going. Three, 2, 1. Recover. Right, for your last exercise, you're going to be in that same position, or you can have it in a high plank. In here, what you're going to do, get your legs out, or you can be in here, same thing, in there, or both at the same time. Let's get ready. Give your timer. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Finish off strong, guys. "15 seconds, come on. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Hold on, guys. 15-minute little energizer. Sweating. Now bring it up here. And back in our seats.
Oh, thanks. How did everyone find that? Drop your comments in the chat. Looks like some of you enjoyed it, which is really good. But some of you found it difficult, but that's completely normal, so it's fine. Cool. I do have a few questions. I'll let you catch your breath back, Andrew, but we do have a few questions.
I'm reading the questions. There's lots of people saying they're out of breath.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, so this one's directly related to the workout we just did. What are your tips for not getting sore wrists in press-ups?
It's just the positioning. When it's just the positioning when you're doing your press-ups. But it is when you're doing your press-ups and you start getting sore wrists, it's either that your shoulders are too straight up rather than tucked in. Because all your pressure should not be on your wrist, it should be mainly spread out across your upper half. Unless you got weak wrists, that's another issue, but there's strengthening exercises they can do in the gym as well.
Cool, that's useful, thank you. Remember, if you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat now. Do we only take 15-second rest once after press-ups?
So with the exercises you do, you can adjust it to whatever you want to do it as. So for example, if you're a beginner, if you want to do it 30 seconds on and have a 30 seconds rest, that's completely fine. Or if you want to shorten it a bit more just to make it a little bit tougher, that's up to you as well. Because some of the exercises are a lot more taxing than others. So for example, the burpees really take it out of me sometimes. So I normally try to give myself a little bit of a longer break in between, then go back in. And some of the exercises are not easy, but not as obviously taxing as the burpees. So I'll give myself a short break.
Cool, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. And then another question, which of these exercises is good for a professional with lower back pain? So I imagine if you're obviously sat down quite a lot in your job, like which one of these would be good?
With in terms of these exercises we just done?
Yeah, or any actually, any would be good.
When you tend to, so a professional that tends to sit at a desk a lot, what you tend to notice is your core muscles tend to weaken. So if you can do exercises that are mainly core focused, it'll be better just to even out the differences. Because if you sat at a desk, what tends to happen, everything starts rounding and not putting work in your core. So when you come to the gym, I'll probably focus more on core exercises to even out the imbalances.
Okay, cool. And then another question, what are the best exercises for someone that hasn't done any workouts for nearly 3 years and is feeling a bit stiff?
So if you're feeling a bit stiff and you haven't done any exercises for a while, any exercise will probably be better for you, to be fair. Any exercises, just whichever ones you can do. So majority of the times, if people like, let's say, resistance-based, I'll probably start off the machines, because the machines are quite simple to do and you won't get that soreness after as bad. But the machines are a good starting point just to get a base level of fitness.
Cool. Okay, great. Thank you. And I've had a few questions about getting the video of the Energize that we've just done, so you can do it again. We will be sharing a link to the video so you can do that again as well. Another question, this one's a bit more related to mental well-being, but is there a particular time of day that is good to exercise, mornings or evenings? Like, what would you recommend?
Speaking for myself, I'm a morning person. I like waking up early and getting everything done as early as possible. Then in the night time, I just like it as downtime. But some people are not that. So just about figuring out what type of person you are, really. So
there's no one is better than the other?
No. There's no set time. Just as long as, for example, if you like giving yourself a longer lay-in, which gives you enough time and energy to do, let's say, work or school-related stuff or lectures, unless you're more available in the morning, do your workouts in the morning. Or if you've got more free time in the evening, it just depends on whenever you're free, basically.
Cool. Yeah, that's good to know. Cool. And then the other one is, again, which boosts mental well-being more, weight training or cardio? Like, is there one or the other that has more of a benefit to, like, the endorphins that you were talking about?
It's mainly both in the same sense, and also it's just to what people prefer. Like, for example, I love weight training, but running gives me the best reaction in terms of like endorphins and stuff. So cardio, I would say, but that's just my preference. Okay,
cool. And I guess I've got a question on weight training. Now we've kind of started speaking about it. I think a big thing for me when I go to the gym is like kind of finding the confidence to go to the weights area. If you go to the gym, you see like a lot of people kind of lifting some pretty big weights. So like, what would be your advice to kind of get over that fear, I guess?
In terms of getting over that fear, there's what people need to, I would say for myself, it took me realizing that people are in their own world. When you go to the gym, you notice that no one's comparing, no one's looking at. So what I needed to realize is everyone's journey starts somewhere. Because that person, if he's lifting 10 times what I'm lifting, when he started lifting, he wasn't lifting that much. Yeah. So just focus on myself and what I need to do rather than focusing on others. Yeah, think about others. Okay, yeah, that's good. Thank you. Cool. We do have a good few questions actually, so I'll just keep firing them at you. Is it possible to grow muscles and lose fat at the same time? Well, yes. But one thing people get confused about is turning fat into muscle. You can grow muscle and burn fat at the same time, yes. That's the basis behind weights training. So you can grow muscle and burn fat at the same time, but you can't turn fat into muscle. Okay, cool. Hopefully that answers the question there. Would this workout replace my need to go to the gym, lift weights? I'm trying to build body mass. That's one question. But building body mass will probably be down to what you're eating. Because everyone has a daily calorie expenditure. So basically that means the amount of food that you need to stay at the same weight. So if you notice, if you've weighed yourself recently and you've been getting on the scale and you've been at the same weight for, let's say, a month or a couple of months now, what you eat on a day-to-day basis is keeping you at that same weight. So it doesn't matter what you do in the gym, because what you do in the gym is in turn just burning calories, so burning the food that you're eating. You need to be eating more than what you're burning to build up body mass. Okay. So I'll probably just say focus more on upping your daily intake of food if you want to gain mass in terms of like getting bigger and stuff.
Cool, thank you. And actually on that, do you, Andrew, like calorie count, or do you track the food that you eat, or do you kind of just know like what works for you? Do you like kind of listen to your body?
It depends. Sometimes when I start eating, for example, I've tried several different diets. I think everyone has to be fair. And because during lockdown, I watched What's the Health, and that kind of turned me away off meat. So I started trying to eat more vegetarian stuff. And with that, that's when I started calorie tracking. And if you do calorie track, that's not saying it's a bad thing. If you do, you kind of get a base understanding of what you're eating. And majority of the times, people do eat the same thing over and over again without even realizing. So once you know exactly what you're eating and what it does in terms of like protein wise, etc., you don't really need to keep on tracking it.
Cool. Yeah, that's useful. Thank you. Cool. So we've got a few more questions. This one's quite a good question. It's hard to exercise with a feet condition. I'm going to say this completely wrong. Plantar fasciitis. How do I work around this when my feet hurts easily while doing something as simple as walking? Is there anything you recommend, Andrew?
Is it plantar fasciitis?
Yes, that might be it. I'm
yeah. To be fair, I'm not too sure in terms of exactly what that condition is, but in terms of weight bearing exercises and high impact exercises, I presume that do tend to make it worse, if I'm correct. If the person also just wants to confirm that. What I'll do is just do exercises that don't involve high impact. So like those exercises there, I would kind of stay not clear of, do them less than anything else. I'll do more resistance-based stuff and more mobility exercises. So if they wanted to use anything resistance-based, I'll do the machines first. Because where they're in one range of motion, you really don't demand too much on your joints and obviously on your feet as much.
Cool, thank you. If to the person who asked that, if that's useful, just let us know, or if you've got anything to add to that. But I'll just skip through to a few other questions. What protein bars would you recommend to increase energy? And this is vegetarian.
People are gonna hate me for this. I don't really eat protein bars. They don't agree with me. But if protein bars, I would say. Did she say she's vegetarian?
Yeah.
Ooh. So protein bars would be. I'll say my protein. The vegan ones are quite nice, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but protein bars in general with me, they don't really agree with my belly. So yeah, I stay clear from them. But most people that eat the protein bars do eat the my protein ones, and they love them, especially the vegan bars.
Cool. Okay, great. Hopefully that helps. Another question here, actually is a really good question. Can we go to the gym right after waking up in the morning, or like without breakfast, or is it important to eat before? How much time should you leave between eating and going to the gym, for example, in the morning?
Again, it depends who you are, because some people, I like going gym before I eat, and it also depends what your goal is, to be fair. Mm-hmm. So if you've got more energy without the need of eating, that is fine. But if you do need to eat it, don't force it. So it just depends what sort of person you are and when you like training. And bearing in mind, people, let's say if you go bed at like 10, 11 in the previous night and you wake up, for example, my normal day today, I wake up like 5, 6. That's still about 6 hours since my last meal, so it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. I still have some sort of food in my stomach that will fuel me to go and have a session.
Okay, cool. there's another question on that, but hopefully that answers your question as well. Is there a way to fat reduce in certain body areas more so than others? That's one question.
Mostly it depends. Or, for example, men and women hold fat in different areas. So there's, if she was going to ask in terms of like arms and legs, there are ways to do that. Obviously, for example, legs, everyone knows like squats, how to tone up those specific areas. But in terms of other areas like the back or stomach area or other areas like that, it just depends on gender and in terms of your genetics as well.
Mm-hmm. Is that easy to find out if they like kind of wanted to see? Is it online, for example, or is it just a case of kind of seeing what works?
In terms of gender, yeah, that will be online, but genetics, that will be pretty difficult because obviously everyone's got different heritage and stuff. But gender-wise, if you just type in on Google where if that was a man that sent that, well, what areas men hold fat the most and what areas women hold fat the most, yeah, that will probably come up.
Cool. Thank you. Someone has said it's not a question, but I guess it comes back to what we're talking around and kind of getting over that bit of a slump. But someone said, I sometimes don't start, I'm assuming, going to the gym and exercising because I worry that I don't have the correct form and then it might all be pointless. Do you have anything to add on kind of whether your form impacts anything or any tips for kind of getting the right form?
In terms of impact, yeah, it does, because there's a risk of injury that comes into play. The main thing is, if you're worried about doing something wrong, it's just about getting over the fear of asking the people that work in the gym, because that's literally what we're here for. And asking for help is completely free of charge, and that kind of makes our job easier as well, because if people are coming to ask for help, it's a lot easier than obviously approaching other people. Because and if you can feel the same way it's intimidating for a person to obviously ask for help, it's also intimidating for us as fitness coaches to approach someone, just in a sense of like making them feel uncomfortable, etc. There's ways of doing that, but yeah, improper form will impact your. Oh, same again. Got to move. 2 seconds, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, sorry about that. In terms of it impacting your progression, it does. If you're worried about approaching someone and asking for help, if that's the main concern, you can also use machines as a starting point if you haven't been in the gym at all. That will get you used to engage in the right muscles, engage in your core when you're doing, for example, a leg press. That will prepare you to doing the more complex exercises like squats and stuff. So instead of hindering your own progression and saying, "Oh, because I'm not doing it correct, I don't want to go no more," just use the machines first. Get used to moving your joints in a particular way, feeling the muscles working. Then once you're ready, you can start doing the more complex exercises.
Great, thank you. I've got another question. I know we've got 10 minutes left, so if you have got any more questions, do drop them in the chat now. Another one is on metabolism. So this person's metabolism is super fast. Is that helpful in gaining weight and muscle building?
If your metabolism is super fast, it kind of makes it slightly harder in terms of gaining weight, because naturally you'll be processing the food that you eat a lot more quicker than another person. What that person needs to probably do is just eat more nutrition dense food and more of that, just to counteract the fast metabolism and getting that calorie intake a little bit higher if you're looking to gain weight.
Thank you. I think we're coming to the end of the questions now, but should you base health progress on BMI? That's a good question.
Your body, man, not to a certain extent, because that is affected literally by the littlest things. So, for example, the amount of coffee you drink, etc. So, if I have a coffee now and I check my BMI will be affected if I don't drink much water. So, I wouldn't really base it on that. I wouldn't base it on your optimal health on BMI. It's a good base, but no, I wouldn't.
Cool. It's just gonna have a scroll through and see if I've missed any. I think people are asking pretty much the same thing. So there's another one. How do you restrict glucose or sugar intake? Is that, I'm assuming, like, any dietary tips that you have?
To be fair, fruit, because if you're restricting a lot of sugar, you're gonna have cravings. You don't want to do everything. You don't want to do it to an extreme. So if you like sugar, for example, myself, I got a sweet tooth. I love sweets. I can replace that with eating a lot more fruit just to get that glucose intake, so the sugar intake. So fruits would be the main thing. But you don't want to be too strict to cutting off sugar, because a lot of things you don't even realize has got glucose in it.
Okay, that's useful to know. Thank you. Is there a limit to, this is probably more kind of gym specific, but is there a limit to how much help a personal trainer in the gym can give you free of charge?
No, not really. It's just to the PT's discretion, to be fair. So if you wanted them to, let's say you're working out and you're not really too confident about your form, and you used to ask them, am I doing this correct? I'll presume every single PT in the world will probably help you out with that. Or if you just ask them general questions on exercises and stuff, they'll be more than happy to. Or program, if obviously if you used to start asking on programming and how to train, when to train, etc., that's when they'll probably start, because you're going down the route of personal training and charging. But if you was looking in terms of like routines of training, like I was saying earlier, most gym groups, for example, PureGym, we do have free programs on our app. So if you are a member, just scroll through our app there and you can just click on all the programs that we've got available. And we do also do like inductions in terms of like lifting. So if you wanted to like learn how to squat, there are inductions in terms on squatting or deadlifting, or majority of exercises that would be a bit too complicated to start off with. So you can just go in and book yourself in one of those inductions.
Great, thank you. I will start wrapping up questions soon, I think, and a lot of them are about weight loss. So I've just got one more on weight loss here. If you had to pick one, which sport is most effective in weight loss? Would that be swimming, running, boxing, weight training, or a combination of both? Or all of them, sorry. What would be your thoughts, Andrew?
So would you say swimming, boxing, running, and which one, sorry?
Weight training is the other one.
Most of them just demand a lot. So swimming, you do burn a lot of calories swimming. I'll probably presume out of all those, the ones you just mentioned, swimmers, on top of my head, they're the ones I'll probably eat the most out of everyone on that list. But it's just depending on what you really enjoy, to be fair. Burning the most calories would be out of those exercises would be running in one go. But swimmers, weight trainers, boxers, because they use weight-bearing exercises, they continue to burn calories 12 hours after they finished working out. So, for example, let's say we stop working out at 2:30 now. We'll continue. If you've done boxing or weights training or something weight-bearing, we'll continue on with that calorie burning process for the next 12 hours. But if you've done running, once you stop and your heart rate goes down, then that's when you stop burning that calorie. But you may have burned out on that, let's say 5K run, you might have burned 600 calories or whatever, but in one go. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And then I'm just going to ask this one final question, because if there are any beginners who are here, they might find it quite useful. So how many times should you attend the gym as a complete beginner, or how much exercise a week is recommended for a beginner?
As like I was saying, I think I said it at the start, if you're a beginner, just listen to your body. Your body will tell you. Just be mindful of doing excessively overworking one muscle group. What I mean by that is, if you come in and you do legs on Monday today, you shouldn't probably come in and do legs the following day, unless you're doing classes and stuff. So just give yourself what I would, as a beginner's guideline, I'll probably say, just try coming to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sorry. Just always like giving your day break in between. And if that, obviously, if your body's responding to that well, but you start feeling sore, just give yourself a little bit of a longer break. Cool. Which is probably easier.
Lovely, thank you. There are a few more questions, but we are almost out of time. So, Andrew, is there a way that anyone can contact you if they've got any other questions? You Instagram, LinkedIn, anything like that?
So I've got LinkedIn, or you can even take my personal email, to be fair, my personal training email. It is andrewtivs@gmail.com. So just about any sort of personal training related questions, or any physical well-being, mental well-being questions in there, I'll be more than happy to help.
Great, thank you. That is pretty much all we have time for today. I guess, Andrew, maybe I just want to leave with your one top tip for kind of boosting well-being this week, and what people can do very easily this week just to kind of promote their physical wellness and boost their mental well-being. What would be your one top tip?
Top tip for this week, I'll probably say there's a breathing exercise that you can do. So breathing there, so it's 4 deep breaths in and 2 out. 4 seconds in and just take 2 seconds to breathe out, and do that for a minute. You'll probably be able to think more clearly after that.
Great, that's really good.
So if you have any challenging decisions, just do that breathing exercise, then make your decision up after that.
Lovely, thank you. Cool. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you to you, Andrew, for a fantastic session, fantastic workshop, and hopefully everyone is feeling energized this Monday, and we'll take that through to the rest of the week as well. As Andrew said, drop him a message, drop him an email if you've got any burning questions as well. If you've got any questions about Careers and Wellbeing Week at Bright Network, also feel free to pop me a message on LinkedIn, or just drop us an email too. We've got loads of fantastic speakers for the rest of the week, so do check that out on the Careers and Wellbeing Hub. But for now, I'll leave you all after that wonderful session, and hope you all have a great rest of your days. Thank you, everyone.